Nykl. And they started giving me, when they found out that I spoke Czech, they started giving me lines to speak in Czech and also to translate for them. So they would just actually write the actual, in parentheses, cusses or swears in Czech, and the rest is. Now I understand that the show is running in the Czech Republic. I think it is. And irony of ironies, I think they're going to be dubbing me. So I have no idea how they're going to dub me when I'm actually speaking in Czech and swearing, and how that's going to get past the censors.
I've been there, and it's weird.
Yeah, because I saw a clip once they did of my character in French and in German and everything, and it's just because I know they do that in Czech TV where they dub performances, and as an actor it just takes a while to get used to. It's not the, I don't know, I think it takes away from, because you keep hearing the same actor voices dubbing it into Czech, right? And they do that in Italy too, and they have awards for the best dubbers to dub in the thing. And a lot of my friends make their money at it, so I mean, I'm not dissing it, but I just think that if subtitles, like we do that in Sweden, that you just do subtitles, and then that plays I think so much more better for what television is. But there were two conventions run by a scattershot group of fans not in Prague, but in a place called Chotěboš. And if you know how to spell that, you're the journalist of the year. Chotěboš in the Czech Republic, and one of the branches, because they had everything. They had everything from like Russian science fiction, which was really weird. There's a guy that was like dressed in full makeup as a devil, as like a demon devil with horns and everything. To us, Stargate, to of course Harry Potter and all the sort of the classics. So it's remarkable, because you go to places that, and Czech Republic notwithstanding, I've been there before, but you go to places that you've never been to before, and thanks in large part to the phenomenon that is Stargate. It's people know you, they know how to pronounce your name, they know where you're from, they know about your stage career in Prague. There's no place to hide. There's no place to hide, not even Chotěboš. So 2 years I was there. 4 years ago, and then I think 2 years ago, most recently. Nice, very intimate. Lots of people came out though, yeah, because Zelenka has a big following. And another thing that's remarkable about that is that up until recently, when I think it's been on television, it hadn't been on TV, so it's all through the internet. Through the internet. Indeed.
Sorry.
Oh, I have a question.
All right.
Since
We'll kick
you
it back to
mentioned
Don.
Praha,
Since I put him on the spot to begin, it's so unfair.
yeah, I'm back.
Now you thought of it now.
Yes, I thought of it now because my memory has started working. So what makes the show that popular in Prague? What do you think has?
Well, I think I don't think it's anything specific to Prague, other than the fact that it's my characters being Czech, and I think that because the premise of Atlantis is that it's an international team, so there's a certain pride from a small country to have their their countrymen represented. I often hear, where's the Australian flag, where's the French flag, where's the Danish flag, because people watch that, and they watch the people's flags, and so it was one of the characters that got more prominence, and it was Czech, so they're very proud of that. I think that's has more to do with the character's nationality than
So that it's just that nationalistic pride.
I think so, and it's for on an American TV series, because it's said I've often get emails saying it's great to see one of ours on an American TV series. The fact that it's shot in Canada with Canadian writers with Canadian money but it's an American series. So I think that's really cool. It's really nice to be a part of that. But the first part of your question is more fascinating to me. Is what is it about the phenomenon worldwide? Because you don't get this with cop shows. You don't get it with medical dramas. You don't get it with lawyer shows. You get it with science fiction. So I think it has more to do with the fact that people like to have stories told to them ever since childhood. You want to be taken to a place where you can be anything that you are. You can overcome the limitations of your own body. You can overcome the limitations of the society around you. You can live in a place that you don't have money problems. You don't have social problems. It's the what if of it that appeals to people all over the world, and we're just actors. We're just actors, but for them, it's like, what is it like to be in the world of what if? What's it like? And it's pretty ordinary. It's a day on set. is what it is. No, it's much more than that.
Andre.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, that previous question was a pretty good setup to where I was going to go with this, was that a lot of SF shows that are made these days tend to be set in the present time, and, you know, Earth and some, usually the States or whatnot.
Or a dystopian future
Yeah.
very soon.
But even then, I mean, you know, a lot of movies on Sci-Fi Channel and stuff that gets over to, you know, to the networks, it's usually always a ripped from the headlines or something kind of story.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because that's easier to produce than to have to build a whole future to
Yeah.
put on screen.
We're almost there now, sort of a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And however, a lot of these shows tend to be very narrowly focused in what their ensemble casts would be in terms of nationalities and ethnicities and so on. And so a lot of those issues don't get explored. And Atlantis is really unusual in the best sense of the term by having such an international cast of characters. And I just want to see if you had any more thoughts on how that was to work with, how it was like in the first days when you were shooting the pilot.
Well, I can tell
putting all
you,
that together.
yeah, good question. I can tell you I was a little disappointed that it wasn't used more. That the idea of internationalism is, quite frankly, was one of the things that attracted me the most to the idea, is that it's not just the daring do of the American hero, but it has to do with some degree of negotiation, some degree of participation and consultation with other people, and using the talents and the skills of everything. That's humanity versus America, or, you know, England, or whatever the case may be. Not singling anybody out, but that there was like, it was a group of people that were dealing with the phenomenon of being in another galaxy, and I think that's. See, there's two things there. There's one that it's the whole world dealing with international problems, but then there's also the reality of what is TV, which is you need to have 4 or 5 characters so that you can get your hooks into each one of them and understand them and follow each one of them. If you have a show that has too many characters, and, you know, 12, 20 characters, each from a different country, then you start losing the thread, and you start to sort of care about them, and they become more disposable, and it sort of loses the center, you know. So having a tight center of just a few group of people that were featured from different countries in this environment, I think was the combination you talked about, Atlantis, that worked. And I wish they would have used the internationalism a bit more.
Oh, thank you. That, yeah.
I wanted to talk about how your character developed, because like when you auditioned or were approached for it, was it like just for the pilot, or was there intention of like making Zelenka more an integral part of the series as it went along?
I wasn't in the pilot, so the way it happened was the pilot was shot, and then I was brought on as a walk-on character, as a day player, as it would be for the second or third episode in the first year, called 38 Minutes. And it was the first scene that I had with Dr. Weir, and it was just a lucky break, as sometimes happens to actors. Brad Wright, the producer, was on set that day, and he indicated that this was a character that they were interested in exploring more and using more and having more. And that was, I think at that time it was already Zelenka. They hadn't sort of, you know, Russian, Eastern, I don't know, it doesn't matter where he's from, as long as he has an accent. So that was just a lucky break that I had a chance to take that character that way, and that their interest was there, because I'm not fooling myself. If they were not interested in developing the character, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I forgot whether you were in the pilot or not.
Yeah, I did too. I forgot your question. Yeah, no, so it was, yeah, it started as a walk-on, it started as a day player, and it developed out of that. I'm very happy for that.